industry experts, brand advocates, people who are promoting your brand. They should not be, passing any negative comments about your brand. So how does social media sentiment analysis actually work? First, we collect the data. There is a data collection. So if you're using Twitter or Instagram, there are API calls which you can make, and you can get the data from Twitter and Instagram. Then you can store that data in database management, RDBMS or NoSQL. You can store the data there, and then you perform sentiment analysis using the libraries, the natural language processing libraries which are available. And finally, you analyze that data. You make a visualization on that data, and you try to understand that what went wrong or what is going right and how I can increase my business. So the basic algorithm is that first you have a training data set. So let's say that you have the entire data set, you divide it into training and a sample data set. And then from the training data set, the algorithm already has the tags, right? Positive, neutral, negative, whatsoever. You feed your text into it and let it extract the features from the text. Once the features are extracted, you match it with the algorithm, whether the tags which are given are correct or not. Once you see that it's giving wrong results, so again you remodify your algorithm so that you can get the correct tags for the sentence for which the features you've taken out. After that, you do the prediction. So that is, now you have the training set. Now you make the entire data set and you do the prediction for that and see whether the output here in tag is the same which you had given as input. So the outputs and inputs should not be that one sentence you wanted it to be positive, but it's giving you a negative feedback in the end. So this is how the entire algorithm works. Opinion mining is a very lengthy process, right? It starts from data preparation to data extraction, storage, then analysis, then visualization, all of it. So now I was talking about Arabic as a complex language, right? In Arabic language, we have for text processing, we do have few libraries which are available, which are open source libraries which are available. And one of a very famous and very comprehensive and collective library for natural language processing is Farasa. So Farasa library, it was launched by a research institute in Qatar, and they have taken into account a lot of countries. They've done a lot of research into it, and that library is quite beneficial for understanding the text. So so even after understanding the text, you do have a requirement for interpreters. So people who are, your algorithm is already doing the work for you, but you also require interpreters who can understand the text and see whether the algorithm is giving you the right output or not, right? Because like I said, 500,000 tweets in a day, right? So if someone had to do it, the algorithm, so you do require someone to just, manually take out few sentences, a few text and see whether the output is correct or not. So Farasa library, it has many modules in it. So when we talk about text language processing, in that we have segmentation where let's take a word, let's take a sentence, for example, the cat is sleeping, right? So it segments the entire sentence into different words. The cat is sleeping, right? So now you have how many occurrences of the has been there in the entire data set which you provided, right? Then it does lemmatization. So what is the root word of the entire sentence? So for example, let's say running was the root word of the sentence, it will give you run as the word which was used mainly in that sentence. Then there's part of speech tagging, there is morphological features, there's named entity recognition, dialect, and then based on all of this, it performs sentiment analysis. And there's also spell check. There's a dictionary which does a spell check for this. In Oman, there has been a lot of research work which is currently in process going on sentiment analysis, and there is also a fabulous research on traffic data. So there was a company which did the entire study of tweets related to traffic data in Oman, and that gave us an insight that what were people talking about, what were users talking about traffic in Oman. So whether it was something related to using your phone while driving, or whether it was overspeeding. So that report gave us an analysis on that, and there was another report which gave us sentiment analysis on people's feedback about tourism in Oman. So they did a study, and their whole algorithm was based on what are the famous tourist destinations in Oman, and those destinations, what is the kind of footfall that goes to Oman, what is the kind of feedback people are giving, and they connected the footfall with the feedback and how much of a negative image that brings to the place and how much of a brand reputation risk it poses for the particular location. For something like sentiment analysis, you can also use a simple tool like Excel. Even on Excel, you can just go and you can feed the raw data in the form of a table, and then you can set up Azure Cognitive Services, and once you go to add-ins, there's you can choose Azure Machine Learning. You can add that, and then you can choose the parameters, what you want to put into it, and it gives you the output. You have to retrain the output 2 to 3 times for it to give you the correct answer, but even if you want to use Excel, that's also a possibility for people. So online, there's a lot of reputation risk. There's a lot of risk, right, involved in this entire process. So understanding the sentiments, you first monitor what is going on inside social media. Once you have monitored, you start analyzing it, you start studying it, you start reading it, and taking insights from it, and then you respond to it. So if there was a negative sentiment, you directly engage with the customer or engage with the user and try to resolve the situation. And finally, you take the action. Finally, you take the next step. Now you try to create more positive content, or you can better your customer experience. right? So there's use cases for every industry, for every government organization, for every private company. Everyone has a use case for sentiment analysis, right? Because everyone is tweeting about something or the other. Everyone's giving reviews. Everyone's commenting on different platforms. So the advantage of sentiment analysis is that you're sorting the data at scale. You're doing real-time analysis. So in real time, you're knowing that how is the person feeling. And finally, the consistency is slightly skewed right now. Overall average in the market, it's said that 60% of the times the sentiment is correctly predicted. But there's still a long way to go. For product-based companies especially, it is quite important to follow what is being said about the particular aspect that we were talking about, right? Aspect-based sentiment analysis. So let's say that your whole volume was 59% of the people who are talking about your company's customer service. And out of that, if 91% people are feeling negative, so you can understand that the entire problem area for your company is the call center, is the customer service itself, that you're not giving good customer service to the client or to the customer, right? Then you can see so these are the main categories which should be focused for any company, right? Your volume, if it's high, then your negative percentage should be very low. And if your volume is low, then also your negative should be low. But if it's slightly higher, then also it doesn't pose a risk, right? So for a company, customer service, reputation, products, digital experience. If it's a bank, then transactions and what is the pricing, fees, etc. This all matters for the companies. So you have to, as a company, you have to equip the customer with the right information. You have to give him the fair value. So it should be the right value for the product which you're offering him, and it should be the right fit for this particular customer. And there should be a helpful customer service. After sales for the product should be very carefully done. So turnaround time is the average response time which you get back to the customer in, right? So for something like social media, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, ideally within 1 hour you should be responding to the customer. But if it goes unidentified, so maybe it happens that even 1 day or 2 days after what has happened, after the incident has happened, then people respond. The company responds to the customer or the user. For live chat, for example, if you have a chat built inside the app, or if you have a live chats feature on your website, so ideally within 1.5 to 2 minutes you should respond. Otherwise the customer loses his patience and then he'll just move out of it. He'll not stay on the live chat. And on phone calls, within 20 seconds the call should be picked up. So priority conversations, there's a lot of conversations happening on social media, but the priority is conversations which are revolving around risk, cancel, purchase, and service, right? So if the entire conversation is a big sphere, so you just focus on the priority. You just focus on conversations which are happening around risk, cancel, purchase, and service. Risk is anything that could be posing a reputational risk for the company, and cancel is the customer wants to cancel his service or wants to return the product or something like that. Service is he's not happy with the experience, or they're very happy. It could be anything. So now it is quite important for banks to monitor this, for the banking sector, especially the downtime for the system, for example. As soon as you see that whenever Instagram goes down or whenever Facebook is down, suddenly tweets start happening. So whenever any of these platforms are down, I first go to Twitter to see whether what went wrong. Even there might not be a Google news article on this, right? So if there's a downtime, people would definitely be commenting on, people would definitely be tweeting about it. So downtime is a very key factor for banks to monitor on social media. And then what is the perception about the business of the bank, whether a lot of frauds are being reported about the bank, right? There's no discriminative behavior. So all these kind of aspects have to be carefully monitored by banks. Like I was talking about average response time, right? It should be below 2 hours. It should be ideally 1 hour, but it should be below 2 hours. That 2 minutes is a typing mistake. So the report which I've analyzed here, as you can see, the average times were 4.77 till 31, right? So 10 hours is not a good time to get back to the customer. If you're getting back to the customer in 10 hours, it is not, there's a chance that, the situation might go out of hand. So ideally within 2 hours, there should be a response given to the customer, right? And talk of the town is that now you can also add, you can also do sentiment analysis via ChatGPT. You can also use OpenAI. This is a sample dashboard using a data set on which the text was already processed. And here, from the particular date, for the particular date lines, we had several products in the dashboard, and we had the ratings for all these products and the sentiments. So we tried attaching the rating of the product with the sentiment of the customer. You can see the word cloud, what it's reflecting, whether it's a positive word, it's a negative word, what's the sentiment about the product. Keep going. These are some sample reports which I've created over the time using tools like Power BI and Tableau. Power BI and Tableau, once you have analyzed the data and you have the sentiment analysis performed, you can use these tools to visualize that data. And these are some sample visualizations, not related to sentiment analysis, but made on Power BI and Tableau. Going next. So what's next is that we at Tekatech, I think I forgot to mention the company. So I am working at Tekatech, and we at Tekatech are in the process of developing a social media analysis tool. And inshallah, we are planning to launch it by the end of next quarter sometime. So next year, when we'll be here at COMEX, we'll be also be having a social media analysis tool with our company. And we are looking forward to seeing you back here at COMEX. Thank you, guys. You can scan the QR if you want to get in touch later on. Thank you.